Daniel! What the hell, brother? Where have you been? What are you doing?
What's up, dude? Why are you holding my rice?
Okay, look, I know what you're doing. Do not dodge my question, you infidel scum. Okay? It has been an entire month. You have not uploaded a single video. I want an explanation.
Okay, fair. Look, I know I've been MIA. All I can really start off with is, like, as you can see that what I'm currently doing, I'm analyzing the opacity of the translucency, because when I looked at the meta-analyses, it was found that the circumference of the diameter when he's holding this distance, it became that we realized that the epidemiology was not certificate of the Federal Reserve, and that was back in 1912. Now, how do we combat the inflation? I'm not sure. But what I've been doing is I've been analyzing the analysis.
My goodness, it's worse than I thought. Oh my god.
What I found was
How can I help you? Yes, my brother, I have horrible news. It's worse than I thought. Daniel has literally lost his mind.
Do not worry. I have the perfect plan.
Okay, what do you have in mind? How can we fix him?
Why don't you come back to headquarters?
Okay.
We will discuss it.
Okay, my brother, I'm coming back right now.
До свидания.
До свидания.
But the luminosity did not equate to the spectrum myotribriasis. And then I was like, can I use my papers as a face fan? I don't know. The circumference became my isotritopic diagonal lateral raises. Whoa, I'm making... What is good? Hello, it's been a month. It's been a while since I've uploaded. I've been doing me. I've been taking time off to take good care of myself. A lot of journaling, a lot of things I want to talk to you about very soon in the coming weeks. However, right now, as for today, as for this video, the reason why you clicked on it, I've got a story for you, okay? This is back when I was 14, okay? I'm gonna tell you how I nearly died. In fact, how my brother and I nearly died. And before we even dive into it, I want to kind of preface this, add a little caveat that the people who I talk about in this story do not represent who they are today. So let's start off with it. I was 14. I was in the middle of class, not in the middle of the class. Class just ended. It was around 11:20 a.m. and I had a doctor's appointment to go and get my foot checked out because something had happened, that something was like growing in my foot. I forget what it's called, but it basically when something was going wrong and I had a lot of pain in the skin of my foot. So I was going to my family doctor for her to basically blowtorch my foot with nitrogen dioxide or something to like kill the skin. It was a weird story. So basically I had to get picked up, and that day right after class I get messaged by my bro. He's like, I'm here. I'm like, oh damn. I head down, I leave lunch, I leave all my buddies, I head down to my bro, I hop into the 1995 black Honda Civic Classic. And entering the car, I remember he looked a little groggy, like he looked tired, like he was exhausted, he was a little quiet, and yeah, he just looked a little out of it, like he just was like as if he was hungover or something. He just looked exhausted. But nevertheless, we're going it's about a 15-minute drive to go to the doctor's office. So we're heading onto the highway. And we're driving, and at a certain point in the highway's going like this, right? And then all of a sudden the highway does a big turn like that. It doesn't just keep going straight, okay? So my brother and I are on the far right lane, okay? We're on the far right lane. And as we're approaching this wedge, this shift in the highway, he hits his left blink, and he wants to go from the very right lane all the way to the far left. Okay, so he's kind of cutting through all these lanes. He's making that big lane change, and obviously that's not something you're supposed to do. And so to kind of compensate with the cars coming from behind, he hits up that accelerator, and he's going boom, 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 switching the lanes. And then as he's approaching the far left lane, because we had to hit our exit, right? Our exit was coming up, and you have to stay on the left-hand side for our exit, that is. So as he was doing that, as he completed that final lane change, he approached the where the highway was shifting. So at that point, we were no longer straight. The highway was like this, right? It was going in the right direction, but our car was basically like pointing to the left because we were still changing. So he gets to the final lane and he just starts readjusting the car to align it, and then this is where things kind of go wrong. So I think at this point we're driving about 120 kilometers, maybe 130 kilometers an hour, and in miles, what is that? Is that 50? Is that 60 miles? Somewhere around there, 50 miles, 55 miles, and my brother is trying to turn back the car to align it in the lane, so otherwise we would have just kept going and hit the barrier, right? So he's aligning the car, and as he's aligning the car, he loses control. The alignment with the steering wheel and the wheels were kind of gimmicky, and if you made sudden movements at high speeds, it would lose alignment. And all of a sudden, here he is turning the car, and now we're shifting from this over this way, and we're bleeding into the other lane, and there's cars coming by. And my brother's like, oh shit! And he's like pulling back the car to the left, and then it's like going to the left, and he's pulling it back to the right, and then he pulls it hard to the right, and then we start doing a 180 degree spin, and as we're doing that spin, an 18-wheeler truck, those big cargo trucks, pass right in front of us. We were like just a couple inches, maybe like a foot or two from the 18-wheeler just ramming over our car, squashing us and killing us. So the 18-wheeler goes, and we're like, holy shit, and he spins around, and we hit the barrier right to our left. And we hit it at around like 80 kilometers an hour. It was a pretty sudden shift. We got jolted forward. The phone that was in my pocket, I used to be really fat. I was wearing skin-tight jeans. It flew out of my pocket and went to the back of the car. There was just so much like torque, or whatever it's called. And the bumper was just totaled. It was totaled, and him and I were just like, holy shit. What just happened? We're just in complete shock. And it was pretty insane. Yeah, our family was pretty upset to hear that. Thank God we didn't get hurt. Thank God my brother clutched it. Good on him for that. Like, although yes, it was a dumb move, but he still clutched it and saved our asses. So it was pretty intense. After that, the funny part, we just went back in the car after checking the bumper. It was still drivable. Went to the doctor's appointment, got my foot checked out and fixed, and then he just drove me back and dropped me off at school. And then over that next couple of weeks, we repaired it and it was all good. And it was pretty insane. Like, it was one of those moments where your life kind of flashed before you, and it was just nuts. There was no what are they called? Those handbags? Not those handbags. Those bags that pop up, the safety bags. None of those bags popped up or anything, and there wasn't that much force. But it was pretty unreal. I think the car also had a problem with the bags. I'm not sure. There was a lot of problems with that car. But the reason why I'm presenting this story, and I wanted to share this with you, is because your bad habits and decisions compound, and they compound in ways that you wouldn't imagine. In this case, my brother at the time was in a pretty dark place. He wasn't taking very good care of himself, and he was doing a lot of hedonistic things, and the lack of self-care, the lack of the love that he should have been giving to himself, compounded to the point where he made a dumb decision. And it's that one little decision in the moment that really matters. The one wrong decision can totally just change your life forever. Thankfully, that didn't happen to us, but it happens in so many areas. You know, when you have a lot of pain in your dating life, and when you look at a beautiful girl and you just feel pain, it's because of those compounding things that you're doing. You know, you're masturbating to porn. You're not sleeping enough. You're feeling fatigue. Maybe you're drinking too much. Maybe you're doing all these compounding habits, and then when the moment arises where the girl that you desire is there, you're making all the wrong decisions because you stack the deck against yourself. And so this was an extreme example. I'm not here saying that if you watch pornography, you're gonna get in a car accident. Of of course not. That's not what I'm saying. It compounds and it builds up in a way that in the moment you won't understand. But that's the power of awareness and the power of these videos, is I want you to be able to take a step back and really ask yourself, how can, you know, the lack of mental clarity, the damage to my brain, the damage to your penis, your manhood, how can that affect, you know, the decisions that you want to make months from now? How can that affect your dating life, right? All these things compound. And so by being lazy and not taking care of yourself, it can lead to some pretty bad situations that you would never expect until they happen, okay? So that's my 2 cents, my little story for you. Keep on keeping on. Yes, No Nut November is over, but as you know, all of my brothers and of course myself, we don't care if it's No Nut November. I think there was some funny memes on Reddit where it's like a guy was like sitting there, he's like, I'm still doing No Nut, and it's like December time and everyone has like ran away and left. So you know how it is. We do it for life, man. And I want to do some reacting to like Reddit videos, kind of like KSI and what's it called, PewDiePie, how they react to their subreddits. I want to do that with NoFap because there's a lot of good content on there. So if that's something you'd like, let me know. Drop a little comment. Tell me what you want to see on the channel. And yeah, much love. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your time. And go get it, man. Just one step forward. This isn't like it's okay to feel a little scared after this, but this doesn't mean you need to make a 180 change in your life. Maybe some of you do, but just 10% better, you know, 1% better. If you can just be 1% better every week, you will excel. You will do so much better. So that's what I have for you. Take care.